Good afternoon, EXJW community. This is the Oracle coming in for another edition of my vlog. I am really heartbroken to have to make this video, but not completely shocked. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep moving my camera around. I had I, it's been an interesting and shocking couple of days because I'm not a popular XJW YouTuber. I'm not on really any forums. I don't have a huge following. I'm like a lot of people who literally just, watch XJW YouTubers and maybe read things as they are sent to me or I come across, because being an XJW is just one aspect of my life. It's not the main aspect of my life. It is just one aspect of my life that I like to read up on what's going on in the XJW community, and I like to find out, what's happening. I've been out for many decades. I left when I was still a teenager, and I was the first person in my family to call this religion out. And at the time that I left, there was no such thing as XJW community. There wasn't people that I could talk to. There wasn't YouTube, where you could, have other people that were going through similar situations. So I'm glad that I'm still fairly young. I like to believe that I am. And I'm just happy to see how technology has progressed and globalization has progressed, and how that has helped the XJW community all over the world come together and help and support each other. My cousin, which is one of the few people who never got baptized, told me about a YouTube couple, XJW Critical Thinker, who I absolutely adore. They are probably one of my favorite XJW people on YouTube. And they were very similar to the types of people that I knew in the Kingdom Hall, who, despite being Jehovah's Witnesses, were what I consider salt of the earth, really decent human beings. So when I listened to their videos, and I felt something resonated in my soul. I loved everything about it and about them. And I listened to all of all of their videos, and I started looking around YouTube for other XJWs to see if they had, anything that I could find about, quite frankly, what's going on in the Jehovah's Witness community. Because again, I'm a businesswoman, I'm an executive. I do a lot of stuff outside of work, on a few boards of things. So I don't necessarily, and I'm married, I have children. I just don't have time to, just peel over what's going on with Jehovah's Witnesses, or even what's going on with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So when I get time, I'll go on YouTube and look up what's going on. So that's literally how I found out about Lloyd Evans. And at the time that I first came across him, he had the John Cedars YouTube channel. And I was really impressed. He had so much stuff about what was going on in the Jehovah's Witness organization. He had, things about pedophiles and sexual abuse. And, I was like, wow, he obviously does this full time. He had a great library, and I was really impressed. And I've been following John Cedars, aka Lloyd Evans, for quite a few years, and I had nothing but respect for him. Over the years, I learned about his, life. He was in the United States. I'm from the United States. I'm a born in third generation. My family was brought in. My grandparents were brought in when they were fairly young. My parents were born in, and of course, I was born in. So it was interesting to me to see people outside of the United States, like in the UK, who also, has similar, backgrounds. It's always interesting to hear, how other people are, dealing with growing up as a Jehovah Witness and dealing with the issues from a global perspective. But I really like that he had the knowledge and he had the ability to dig deep. I mean, I loved his videos. I thought he was a really good ex-Jehovah Witness commentator and advocate for this. Now, about 2 years ago, if you look down, again, I'm not a popular YouTuber at all, and I never did it for clicks. I never did it for subscribers. I did it, and I'm a one take kind of person. So you may hear one of my videos, and you'll hear me, say things that are like a little imperfect because, again, I'm a very busy person. I plot. I do a conversational, philosophical video. Hope it reaches somebody, and I keep it moving. So, Lloyd, of course, can do things because he has a lot of abilities to do things that many of us that are working, families and such don't have the ability to do. But over the years, I realized that there was kind of some interesting things that come up because he shares it that, he lived in Croatia with his wife. And again, that's really none of our business, but, he shared it because he shared things about, he has 2 children. His youngest child is fairly new. And then I think the thing that was shocking to me was that he actually lived with his believing in-laws and that he didn't have his own home, but he was like making construction in their home. So it's like, like my husband and I, we have a big house and, like we have a downstairs that, maybe one of our kids would want to use and whatever. But I'm like, if they were like downstairs using, maybe our garage or a room off of the garage. So we have a room off of the garage and had like, had their family kind of living in it. And then they were using that room as a video to kind of go against what we think and believe. I think that would be a little bit not happening. And what I mean is that, and I was like, well, maybe this is the difference between, how Jehovah Witnesses and ex-Jehovah Witnesses are in other countries, because where I'm from, my father basically told me I had to go to the Kingdom Hall at least once a week to even live in this house as an ex-Jehovah Witness. So I wasn't a quote unquote apostate. I wasn't actively speaking against a form of religion or that form of religion. So it was interesting to me that Lloyd was this preeminent ex-Jehovah Witness. He had a video series that he did out of his practicing Jehovah Witnesses family. I felt that a little weird. It's not my business or place to judge it. I was like, maybe I don't understand their culture. I know homes are very expensive, especially in other countries. Maybe their parents are like, okay, we want to be close to our daughter and our grandchildren, so they're allowing him that leverage. But I never heard of it. Like I said, if you listen to some of the EXJW commentators that tell their stories, like as soon as, for most, especially in the US, as soon as you tell your parents that you don't want to be a Jehovah Witness or you get disfellowship, a lot of people are kicked out. So ain't no way you're going to live with them, not be a Jehovah Witness, be a quote unquote apostate, and then be creating and producing apostate videos. So that was the first thing that really like threw me for a loop, because I was like, how is this even happening? But again, it's not my business. You know what I'm saying? That's not my place to, I was just curious about it. So that's sort of the back thing on Lloyd. I really just, it's kind of like you chew the meat, you spit out the bones. It's not my place. For most of it, I just listen to his videos and I move on. I'm not really trying to analyze his life. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm just, taking what he shares with the community. But about 2 years ago, I did a video because I saw that there were some popular and semi-popular YouTubers, ex-Jehovah's Witness YouTubers that were fighting against each other. And I guess because I went out of what I basically listened to and listened to a lot of XJWs, I noticed it. I'm not in the XJW community like that. So that kind of stuff doesn't even really, I'm not on Reddit, I'm not participating in meetups or anything like that. I found it sad, and I don't know why my hand keeps moving. I'm sorry. I think I'm a little, riled up, and I'm trying to calm down because I wasn't going to comment on this situation, but I've seen a few comments to me, not bad, people, because I made a few comments. I even wrote Lloyd and commented when he did a live stream. I wrote him a long message about what I thought about what he was saying on that live stream, because I was very upset. I was not happy at all. And I was like, after I came across a video from Kim Silva, maybe I'm not pronouncing her name right. And because again, I just wanted to kind of find out what was going on. And that happened yesterday. And so finally I'm like, I don't care if anybody hears this video or not, but I want to give sort of a neutral, unbiased opinion, which is, I kind of have to put my voice into it. You don't have to listen to it. I'm turning comments off. Just like it if you like what it's saying, and keep it moving. But I got to say this, because this doesn't just affect Lloyd. This affects the whole XJW community, because I see a splintering. And I think that's why I want to kind of bring some calm and reason to the situation and kind of just tell you my thoughts, which you can accept or not. So I didn't even, 2 years ago, I realized that there was some divisions in the XJW community. That is to be expected. There is no utopia in the Jehovah's Witness organization. There's a lot of divisions by race, class, region, just people that don't get along because of personality situation. It's real life. It's not a utopia. So in the XJW community, you're going to have the same people. People have different political beliefs. People have different ideas about, relations based on class, based on region, based on race, based on their perception of life. That's real. Let's not pretend that we all going to get along because we're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. We all should be focused on the same common goal. But unfortunately, sometimes people's egos get in the way of their message. Okay, I'm going to put it out there. I do ex-Jehovah's Witness videos because I want to help and empower people. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what color of your skin. I don't care if you have education or not. I'm just trying to help you be free. That kind of stuff doesn't matter to me. I am not a classist. I'm not a racist. I'm not into any of that. I was raised, I think, even with the Jehovah's Witness organization, I was raised by some pretty salt of the earth people. And I just want to help people be free. Unfortunately, like I said, I just did my video, and you can check it, when I talked about how I stumbled into the divisions of, people not getting along in the XJW community. But there was a clash, and then it kind of went away. So I didn't think about it. I still clicked on the XJW videos that I like. The ones that I don't like, I don't click on them. Again, I'm not doing a lot of deep thinking about it. So I don't remember exactly the day that Lloyd was doing the live, but I think it was a Saturday, because I had just logged in to YouTube. And I think the title of the video was something along the lines of everything you don't know, or you shouldn't know, but I'm sharing it. And I'm paraphrasing. And I'm like, what is going on? And I don't remember exactly. Maybe it was in January, maybe it was the end of December, but Lloyd actually did a video where he said he was taking a break, and he didn't want people to ask him any questions, and he didn't want people to impose their thoughts into what he was doing. Which again, and I'm a seasoned person, you know what I'm saying? I'm a seasoned person. I've been around a long time. And I felt like that was a little bit overstepping. You can't control other people. You can't. The only person you can control is yourself. So if you put yourself out there and you make some kind of proclamation, don't tell people how to react to it, because you can't control that. If you don't want people to react to something, then don't put it out there. You're not going to be able to control what people do with the information that you provide. They're either going to like it or they're not going to like it. And you have a decision to make. Either that's going to make you do something, think something, or not. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a lot of people sometimes that get real caught up in how people respond to things. You can't control how people respond. And I wrote this to Lloyd, one of the biggest lessons I learned in my life is that people are going to think what they want, regardless of what you say. I learned it in my own family. People are going to think lies. They're going to think half-truths. And no matter what you come back with, especially with facts, they've been holding on to baggage for so long, they don't care. They don't want to let that baggage go. So I thought it was a little strange that Lloyd didn't just make that proclamation, but I realized that he was going through something emotional and mental, because he mentioned that he was doing some deep therapy, that he was depressed and he was going through something. And my heart went out to him. And I was, in my mind, I'm like, what's going on? I hope it's nothing serious. And, I think I even wrote in the comment section, I hope that you do well. Again, I was just, concerned and like, I hope everything's okay. So then he has said that the only videos that he's going to put up is videos that he had already done. So when I logged in on Saturday and I see this live video that Lloyd is doing, where he is like talking about something that, again, I had never heard anything about, any kind of controversy or anything. So I'm like, curiosity. I'm curious. He's doing a live. So I click on that live and I was shocked. When I clicked on a live, Lloyd was talking about his penis. And he was like, he was saying, and I'm just being nice. He used the name that we all know when a man refers to his penis. He basically was saying, I don't know why everybody needs to know about what I'm doing with my male member. Why is anybody business what I do? I don't know why I have to justify what I'm doing. And I was like, honestly, I was very put in a weird place, because I felt that was a little inappropriate, but I was kind of wondering what he's talking about. Because again, I had no context for this. So my husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, hold on. I gotta listen to this. I don't know what's going on, but there's some drama going on in the EXJW community. So I'm like, what is Lloyd talking about? So then Lloyd starts talking about how he was repressed sexually growing up and that he married early, and he was talking about his wife, who was a typical typical Jehovah's Witness, brought up, and, they rushed into things without really having any sexual experience. And I was like, okay, this is so inappropriate, because I'm a wife and mother. And I'm like, I just hope there's a good reason for him sharing this information. So then he starts talking about, basically how he was unfulfilled in his marriage and how this led to him cheating on his wife in all intents and purposes, and repeatedly cheating on his wife. But he doesn't know why anybody would use that against him, why anybody would judge him professionally by this information. And he felt like, basically, I saw some of the comments, and somebody has said something about underage girls in Thailand. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm thinking this man is just talking about he cheated on his wife, which I felt was really appropriate. Let me tell you something. I had to calm myself down, because I was like, I cannot believe this man is sitting on a live, basically making excuses and indirectly blaming his wife for cheating on her. And I was like, why are you sharing that? There were hundreds of people on this live. And I was like, this is so inappropriate and offensive. And I'm coming from as a wife and mother. If my husband ever cheated on me and then he sat on a live trying to give excuses, he wouldn't be here. And I'm being very honest with you. I felt like you got kids that can look on YouTube and you're sitting here justifying stepping out on your wife. I was very upset. I was like, this is so inappropriate. And what does this have to do with your ex-Jehovah Witness advocacy? But I'm going to tell you, when he said, I don't deserve her. I don't deserve my wife. I was like, oh my God, I got to get off this. I got to get off this live. I listened a little bit more, but I was like, because I was about to type a whole thesis statement to this man and tell him, you need to go to a therapist and say that. You don't need to tell an ex-Jehovah Witness community that's trying to respect you as a man and an advocate for victims of sexual abuse. This is not, like, read the room. Why are you sharing this information with us? Are you trying to just tell us something like, again? So then I found out that there was a woman, because he kept being like real paranoid and saying, hold on, I think somebody is sharing this live with Kim. And I'm like, oh, Kim who? Okay, so then I found out that there was a former attorney that actually exposed Lloyd. And so this woman had a Reddit where she actually, in her own consciousness, again, I have legal training. Okay, I'm not a JD, but I'm at a master's level of, legal training, and I've worked in that field. So I was curious about why she would feel the need to post something. Was it that she was just clearing her mind? I don't think she did it maliciously. I didn't know anything about it. So again, I'm also a researcher. So I researched this whole thing. So basically, there was a former attorney that has been working with Lloyd. They were partners on the whole thing that he do with his, JW stuff, EXJW stuff. And she found out that Lloyd had been cheating on his wife and using money that he gets from the YouTube channels to pay for prostitutes. And apparently they went to Thailand for, for him doing his little EXJW documentary, and he got a prostitute over there, or went and got several prostitutes over there. And she was like, I'm calling foul on this. I gotta expose this man. He's sitting up here coming around talking about Jehovah Witnesses with sexual deviancy, and he's over here cheating, hopping and skipping and cheating out on his wife and using money from the proceeds to get prostitutes. I was like, get out of here. This is worse than a soap opera. I'm putting it out there, Lloyd. You need to work on yourself. But my problem is that's not my walk. I was appalled to hear it. I did not agree with that live, and I wrote and told him. So everything I'm saying, I don't hate Lloyd. I don't think that Lloyd is the devil incarnated. I think that Lloyd has some problems. I think Lloyd has some issues that he needs to heal. But you need to separate your personal life from your private life, and you need to understand ethics. Okay, I'm a boss. Okay, and I have fired people. I don't like to fire people. I don't like to write people up. People think what you do in your personal life does not bleed into your professional life. But yeah, it does. There's certain things that you're going to do in your private life that can affect what you do in your professional life. Is it against the law? It may not be against the law, but there are things called ethics. There are things called moral clauses. I don't show my face because of what I do. I think many people have figured out that it is something that involves high security clearances, and I'll leave it at that. So in those type of situations, you can do things that are not considered against the law, but in your personal life, it can affect your ability to hold a job. Now, granted, this whole situation is not like that, but It is about the perception of impropriety and how that affects somebody's ability to respect your opinion. My criticism of Lloyd not understanding why people would not respect his opinion and would feel that he is tainting the entire ex-Jehovah Witness is ridiculous. You're a grown man. You understand this, okay? You sat up here, you did a whole Pillowgate, and you attacked people with information or allusions to information that you could not confirm about their person based on how they were living their life. You did a whole thing on when you felt that you got exposure of one of the governing body members of drinking, okay, and still being on the governing body committee. Okay, see, you can't have it one way. You got to have it both ways. Don't sit up here and criticize a man. And I'm not saying that the dude was right. I did a whole video attacking this guy. I was like, how are you going to sit up here as a governing body member and you going out here getting the best of the spirits and whatnot? But see, I'm going to say that to Lloyd too. Lloyd, you may not have committed a crime. It may not have been our business, but you sure did get on a live. I would have never known anything about what Lloyd did had he not did a live that I just happened to click on, because I'm not in the EXJW community like that. So I had no idea until I heard out of his own mouth talking about where he puts his stuff and why, and the justifications that he was giving for it. But he was saying, don't judge me as a man. Don't judge me as an XJW advocate. And I'm like, see, but you went and you judged the person that was going out there getting liquor. He's not committing a crime. A governing body member can, in fact, drink liquor. Okay. And he can, in fact, get a little tipsy. But doesn't that have an impact on how you respect his opinion? So, yeah, between you and your wife, you can sit up there and you can cheat on your wife night and day and still live in her parents' house, and maybe you can get all that cleared up. I have my personal opinions about that. I'm gonna keep it out of this video, but don't expect people to respect you. Okay? People are gonna judge that. I don't respect the man that cheats on his wife, point blank, period, because I'm a wife. Okay, I'm not going to respect no man that gets prostitutes on a regular basis and then goes up and lives in his parents' house and talk about, I don't deserve her. No, you don't. She didn't deserve what you did. Okay, and there's a lot of women out there that would have put your behind right on out the house and had you doing your little videos from a park somewhere in Croatia. Okay, like I said, I'm going to keep a lot of my personal opinions out of this because as a wife, I was incensed. Okay, I know I have very, very loving, dutiful grandmothers and a mother that had husbands that cheated on them repeatedly. But see, they were indoctrinated into the Jehovah Witness organization, and they took a lot of that stuff. So that's triggering for me, and I know it's triggering for me. So I'm going to keep that out. But I'm going to tell you something right now. There's a lot of people exploiting this situation for their own agendas, and it ain't just Lloyd. And that's why I had to do the video. Look, Lloyd, he got to fix his stuff. But see, what Lloyd messing up like that, it takes away from all of the validity we have and all of the things that we are trying to do as an ex-Jehovah Witness community. Because see, Lloyd set himself as this preeminent person, right? Okay. And the Jehovah Witnesses, they don't like him. And I told him, again, I wrote him directly. I said, don't act like you don't have a target on your back. You know, you got a target on your back the minute you made that station, the minute that you did all that stuff. So don't get mad if sometimes people shoot arrows at you, but why are you taking an arrow and stabbing yourself? You see, that's my issue with this. You know what I mean? And then you playing dumb. Like, I don't understand why people are upset with me. I don't understand why this person got upset. Look, you out there stepping out on your wife. You going and getting prostitutes, okay? And you can give every excuse in the book that you want. You've been repressed as a Jehovah Witness. You in therapy. We get it. And I'm not like, it's not that I don't have compassion for that on some level. I grew up as an ex-Jehovah's Witness. You know, I did a whole video on a double life of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm going to be really honest with you. One of the reasons that I never dated anybody seriously, even after I left and met ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, because I knew what I had to work on in myself. Okay. And that's nothing against anybody that is in the XJW community or the JW community. But I know how hard it is to be a normal person with healthy views of themselves. And that includes your sexual self. Okay, I know that. I understand it. Some have bigger issues than others. And this hits really deep for me because I have brothers that went through a lot of issues because of all the repression and weird imagery and guidance that they got growing up in the Jehovah's Witness organization. I get it. I get it on a deep, deep level. I'm not going to crucify this man, but I'm going to talk about where do we go from here. I've said everything I had to say about Lloyd. I don't agree with how this stuff went down. I think Lloyd needs to take a break. I don't like what he did to his wife, and I surely did not like that live. And I wrote him, you need to take that down. Don't sit up here and try and use every defense mechanism you can to justify what you did and talk about, well, that's my private life. Again, that man was going out getting them drinks. That's his business. But you sure enough made a big old video about it, talking about how is he sitting as a governing body member trying to tell us right from wrong, and he's sitting out drinking. And that's the same thing I'm going to say to you again. I'm not even going to come from the fact that I fired people for what they did in their personal life because it affected the moral clause that we had as professionals. But see, you can't judge other people for what they do in their private life and say that that has an impact on the respectability that they have. And then you go out and do stuff. And then you like, why are you in my business? Why are you in my pants? That ain't the way that work, Lloyd. That's not the way that work. But we as an ex-Jehovah's Witness ex-Jehovah's Witness community have got to come together and move past this. Okay, we can't allow what happened with Lloyd to stop us from the focus. Okay, there are lots of people out here that are doing great things. They are focused on, because this has nothing to do with Lloyd. Lloyd going to deal with it or not deal with it. That's his walk. Okay. I wish him well. I don't like what he did. I don't hate him. I feel like he still has a lot of things that he can fix within himself. I do believe he needs to take a break, and I say that honestly. But whatever he does, I'm only focused on bringing this Jehovah's Witness community to his knees. And I never said I don't want nobody to be an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I just want people to know how messed up this organization is and how it has messed up a lot of people and broken up families. But again, my videos are really about a philosophical standpoint of freeing minds and freeing people. And I don't ever want people to get caught up in divisions to stop us from that goal. It's not about Lloyd. It's not about any specific XJW person. You can't get caught up in any one entity or person because everybody is imperfect. We are all battling issues in ourselves. There is a Buddhist expression that says, be kind. We are all fighting our battles. That's it. And I'm not here to say be unkind to anybody. I'm saying I had to state what I saw. I didn't agree with it. But at the same time, I want us to get back on focusing on what this XJW community and the advocacy is really about. I am so sorry this happened. I felt that it needed to be perfectly honest, because I felt that some of what Lloyd was doing was hypocritical, and I felt that it was weighing on people's conscience. And I don't think that what Kim did was wrong. I felt like, and people, when I first heard it, I was like, well, you know what? There's a lot of that snitching, because I don't like snitching. A lot of people that get in the Jehovah's Witness community, even when they come out of it, they still like to do that telling and but Lloyd, that's not about snitching. Let's make it clear. This is about somebody's conscience. And again, I've been out of the XJW community for a while. People clear their conscience all the time. It ain't just it's not just the Jehovah's Witness community and the EXJW community. I think that she came across some information that made her uncomfortable, and she didn't want to be a part of it. And I get it. But that's not what we should be about. We should be about helping and empowering people. The more that we give this attention, the more that it takes away from the advocacy. I had to take a break. I got to get back to work. Again, give everybody compassion in a situation, but don't let it be our focus. Our focus is to empower people to break free from the chains of an oppressive religious cult. With that being said, I wish everyone a wonderful rest of the day. Let's put our swords down, okay? We ain't battling out in the street. Let's work on finding compassion and understanding for each other and focusing on the goal. Until my next vlog, I wish you well and be blessed.